Sounds of the Week on iRadio.
ناس مومو ده شايف كل الرسائل في موبايلات بتاعت الناس، يعني مسبب لنا ازعاج كثير جدا جدا. الرسائل اللي كان بيكتبوه كتاب ذاته، يعني انا بشوفها خير من المكالمه دي، انه دول لازم ينزل رصيد مومو. الرصيد ناس مومو ده ما حاجه زي تسهيل ولا حاجه بتتعلق بعلاج، دول كان معمل هو بكون عيان بكون تعبان، ولا ما زي وسيله بتاع حاجات بتاعت الاديان، انه دول معمل كده دين بكون كده. يعني في حاجات المهمة عامة من الكلام ده، زول مع مغير دار ودي قروشه مومو وبودي ما دار ودي زي ده قروشه، لأنه هم ناس مومو ذاته ما قاعدين بيطلعوا قروش للناس، كان الناس دارين قروش منهم، لكن لو جبت لهم قروش هم بيشيلوا منها قروش. فأصل الشغل ده ما كده طريقة كويس عشان يقدر يشجع كل زول يشترك فيه. فبالله أرجوهم رجاء كذا رسائلهم ده قليل يجيبوا لي موبايلات الناس، لأنه في مكالمات مهمة جدا، في زول عيال، في زول دار توصلوا رسالة، في زول معوق، في زول كده، في حاجات كثيرة بسبب إنه مكالمة يكون سريع عاجل، فمكالمة بضم ده بكون ماشي، لو ما انت مكالمة بتاعت جرس ما بكون. أنا شايف كلام ده ما كويس. كانوا ما يكتبوا رسائلهم ملادي ده يسيبوا حاجاتهم ده برا من انت سالت لنا.
Sounds of the Week on iRadio. Your eye on South Sudan. Live from Juba, on air and online.
This is iRadio News.
Hello, good afternoon. This is iRadio News. First, here are the headlines. The Catholic bishops have raised deep concern over the ongoing power struggles within the governments and opposition groups in South Sudan and Sudan, saying these conflicts demonstrate a lack of respect for human dignity and a profoundly harmful pattern of malicious selfishness. The Ministry of Health in South Sudan says it is strengthening preparedness and readiness measures following the confirmation of a Marburg virus disease outbreak in neighboring Ethiopia. And civil society leader Edmond Yakani has called on the leadership of the traffic police to clean up its public image, saying misconduct by some officers has damaged the reputation of the institution. This is stories and more coming to in this news bulletin with me, Lasuba Memo, and now the news in detail. The Catholic bishops have raised deep concern over the ongoing power struggles within the governments and opposition groups in South Sudan and Sudan, saying these conflicts demonstrate a lack of respect for human dignity and a profoundly harmful pattern of malicious selfishness. They say that South Sudan is rich in resources, yet these are often misappropriated by individuals for personal luxury, leaving the ordinary citizens to continue living in poverty. The clergy urge leaders to change their attitude and ensure that good governance can take root. Cardinal Stephen Ameo Martin Muller, Archbishop of Juba and President of Sudan and South Sudan Catholic Bishops' Conference, delivered the message during the 51st Annual Plenary Assembly in Malakal last week.
The ongoing power struggle within our governments and opposition groups in Sudan and South Sudan lacks respect for human dignity. It is harmful to the core and maliciously selfish. On the other hand, our land is full of the abundance of resources which are misappropriated by individuals for their luxury, creating cliques of their supporters amid objective poverty imposed on the common people. This attitude must change so that good governance takes root. We strongly remind you that to lead is to serve. Power without service is a loss of direction. So where there is injustice, there is the seed of future conflict.
The National Ministry of Health says it is strengthening preparedness and readiness measures following the confirmation of a Marburg virus disease outbreak in neighboring Ethiopia. Walmapa reports.
Ethiopia's Minister of Health on Friday confirmed the country's first ever outbreak of Marburg virus disease in the South Ethiopia region. Health officials there say 9 cases have been detected in Jinka town after laboratory tests confirmed the presence of the deadly virus. Experts at the Ethiopia Public Health Institute report that the virus strain is similar to those seen in previous outbreaks across East Africa. The government, with support from the World Health Organization, has deployed outbreak response teams, launched community screening, isolated cases, traced contacts, and intensified public awareness campaigns to contain the spread. Marburg is a severe and often phytoviral hemorrhagic fever similar to Ebola. It is transmitted from fruit bats to humans and spreads through direct contact with bodily fluids of infected people. Health symptoms include high fever, severe headache, muscle pain, and fatigue, and can quickly progress to severe bleeding. Although there is no licensed vaccine or treatment, health supportive care such as rehydration and management of symptoms can improve chances of survival. More details will come in the next bulletins. Reporting for iRadio News, Wilma Pal.
Thanks, Wilma Pal. The governor of Eastern Equatorial State, Luis Lobong Lajore, has commended the national government and the Office of Senior Presidential Special Envoy for facilitating the success of 7 youths who had been held in Ethiopia for more than a year. The young men, all from Eastern Equatorial State, were detained in December 2024 for allegedly crossing into Ethiopian territory. They had been imprisoned at Mizan prison until their release this week. The group arrived at Juba International Airport on Sunday, ending the prolonged period of uncertainty for the cattle herders and their families. Their release and safe return were aided by the Office of the Senior Presidential Envoy for Special Programs in collaboration with the Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation and the South Sudan Embassy in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. According to a statement from the envoy's office, the successful negotiations demonstrate the government's continuous pledge to protecting its citizens abroad. Speaking to iRadio this morning, Governor Lobong praised the Minister of Foreign Affairs for its bilateral efforts that ensured the youth release. He also acknowledged the role of the Senior Presidential Envoy Adut Salfa and our office for providing financial support to facilitate the return of the group.
And therefore, since then they have been negotiating and how they could bring them. Of course, finally, with the financial support from the Office of Senior Special Envoy, the President, Honorable Adut Salfa, availed some money that helped transportation of these boys now to Juba. And now we will be transporting from Juba to Eastern Equatoria up to, and we'll go and hand over to the local authority where they come from. I would like to thank Honorable Adut for failing the fund. I would like to thank the Minister of Foreign Affairs for the effort they put to negotiate and bring these boys back.
Governor Lobong says his leadership is going to discipline the free detainees and ensure they do not commit similar offense.
However, these boys have committed a crime, and we are not celebrating for their coming, but we want to thank the government of Ethiopia for releasing them to us. We will be talking to them. We hope they have got a lesson that they will not repeat such thing again. These are crimes that we should not be encouraged, but because of humanity, these are our South Sudanese. We have to receive them and welcome them to the country, but we will continue to talk to them and discipline them not to repeat such a thing again.
That was Eastern Equatorial State Governor Luis Lobong Lajore speaking. This is iRadio News. The chairperson of the Civil Society Organizations Network in Western Equatorial State has called on leaders of the security organs to withdraw forces from civilian residential areas after a young girl was killed in crossfire during a sporadic gunfire in Yambio on Saturday evening. The shooting at Masia Trading Center occurred at around 7 p.m. on Saturday. Speaking to reporters in Yambio town on Sunday, Wanga Emmanuel said such shooting in civilian populated area put residents in great grave danger as bullets struck homes and trapped families indoors. His remarks on Sunday came after authorities in Yambio announced that the gunfire stemmed from a conflict among members of the organized forces and that investigations were underway to determine the root causes. Wanga appealed to state authorities to treat the situation with urgency and direct security leaders to relocate their forces away from civilian populated locations. He also urged residents to remain indoors while security tensions persist, adding that parents should ensure children do not move outside during such incidents.
Last night we lost one of a young girl who is just one house behind my home. So we are calling on the government, please, to call on the leaders of these organized forces to withdraw forces from the civilian located places. And if it is an internal crisis, and if it is external, then we have nothing to say. We are also calling on the citizens, please, we are calling on you to stay in your homes. In such crisis, don't go out, sit at home. If you continue to hear shooting, sleep down, don't run, because you cannot run with bullets. These are messages from us to the civil population. Please keep your children at home. Don't move out.
The incident prompted Western Equatorial State Governor James Atei Barapai to return from Juba on Sunday to calm the situation. Civil society leader Edmond Yakani has called on the leadership of the traffic police to clean up its public image, saying misconduct by some officers has damaged the reputation of the institution. Yakani made the remarks on the Around South Sudan podcast at the weekend. He said some traffic officers have tainted the institution's image through illegal money collection from motorists. According to him, some personnel no longer stop vehicles for security or traffic compliance, but instead unreasonable fines. He said officers often demand money for tea or water after failing to find any fault with a driver. Yakani called on the traffic police leadership to take action and discipline officers involved in misconduct and corruption.
The traffic, honestly, one of the state institutions that is creating inflation in prices is the traffic. I wish the new director of traffic, I heard that the old director have gone. I saw in the social media there's a rejection, no rejection. He said there's no rejection. I accepted to go to another Bargaza. The new director of traffic need to sit down and really evaluate public opinion about traffic police officers. Even I'm suspicious that some people just buy uniform traffic and so far, not really in the roll call or in the, because so the numbers. Like I'm asking, is quarter of our traffic police officers? And now even the virtual level, they start begging. And it means you have no mistake. What they want is you bring anything. I think that is really the only image of traffic.
Yakani also said some officers take money from foreign vehicles without properly checking them, warning that this could be exploited by some people with bad intentions, including those smuggling dangerous items.
There's this, whenever there's a trial of the court trial, there's this roadblock close to the Juba. There's a block for the police. You find there's traffic police officers there, military people, national security. I passed that route multiple times. I have seen foreigners that comes in a car with cash money. The moment they reach to the point where they ask, who are you? So who are you? He puts his hand outside the window. Then you find the person who talked to him, just give that adu kalemshi. What about if terrorists come with the money? We shall not compromise our security with the money. So for me, this goes back to our traffic police officers. Their welfare need to be catered for. Lesser professed traffic police officers, their welfare has been catered for and they have been followed. And then number two, look at the junction around Crown Hotel. Can be adjusted. Right. They are somewhere collecting money. Where at time we need them, they don't come.
iRadio cannot independently confirm the accuracy of the allegations, and the traffic police have yet to respond. Before international news, South Sudan's National Minister of Roads and Bridges, Simon Mijok, is in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, for the signing ceremony of the ministerial agreement establishing the Djibouti, Ethiopia, South Sudan and Uganda Regional Transport Corridor Authority. The agreement, which will formalize cooperation among the four nations, follows a technical and ministerial level meeting held in Djibouti from October 21st to 22nd, 2025, where officials from South Sudan, Djibouti, Ethiopia and Uganda reached consensus on the corridor's framework. Speaking to SSBC earlier, Minister Mijak described the corridor as more than a transportation route. Ethiopia's Minister of Transport and Logistics, Alemu Sime, had described the corridor as an artery of commerce, a conduit for regional integration, and a lifeline for the economic prosperity of all citizens. While in Addis Ababa, Minister Mijak is also expected to engage with Ethiopian authorities regarding the construction of the 320-kilometer Pagak-Matiang-Maiwud-Apaloch road, which will connect the two neighboring countries. The corridor project has been significant financial backing. In November 2024, Ethiopia's parliament approved funding for the project, providing a $738 million loan to South Sudan for the construction of its section of the regional highway. In return, South Sudan will supply petroleum products to Ethiopia, strengthening bilateral trade and cooperation. This is our radio news. And now to the international scene, here is Walma Pal.
Thank you, Lasuba Memo. On the regional international stories, a breach at a copper and cobalt mine in southeastern Congo collapsed due to overcrowding, killing at least 32 people, a regional government official said Sunday. The breach at the Kalando mine in Mulundo in Lualaba province fell on Saturday, Roy Kaumba Moyende, the province's interior minister, said during a press conference. Despite the strict prohibition on accessing the site due to heavy rainfall and the risk of landslides, illegal diggers forced their way into the quarry, Mayonde said. A report by the Congo's Artisanal and Small-Scale Mining Support and Guidance Service government agency on Sunday said the gunfire from soldiers at the site sparked panic among the miners who rushed to the breach, resulting in the fall that left them piled on top of each other, causing the death and injuries. While Mayonde put the death toll to at least 32, the report said at least 40 people had lost their lives. Elsewhere, a Caribbean community, CARICOM, Reparations Commission delegation is visiting the United Kingdom from November 17th to 20th, 2025 to meet with British officials and lawmakers to discuss reparations for slavery and colonialism. The discussions aim to address historic injustice suffered by African populations and their lingering impact, including racism. CARICOM, which consists of 15 Caribbean nations, is advocating for an official reparations plan that calls for formal apologies, debt relief, educational initiatives, and financial compensation. Despite growing global momentum, many European leaders, such as British Prime Minister Keir Starmer, have expressed reluctance to discuss reparations, emphasizing a future-oriented approach rather than revisiting the past. And finally, U.S. President Donald Trump has urged lawmakers in his own party to vote to release files relating to the late convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. Trump wrote on Sunday night that Republicans in the House of Representatives should do so because we have nothing to hide. The reversal of his recent position follows a slope-dripped feed of documents concerning the disgraced financier by House Democrats, some of which reference Trump, who has always denied any link to Epstein's sex abuse and trafficking. But details of his and other prominent figures' past relationship with Epstein are fuel speculation and led to a public spat with one of Trump's staunchest supporters. That's all from the regional international stories with me, Walma Pal. Back to you, Lasuba Memo.
Do appreciate Walma Pal. This is iRadio News, and now to the world sports. Here is Darlington Moses.
Thank you so much, Lasuba Memo. In the world of sport, as the world goes for international break, Nigeria have failed to qualify for the FIFA World Cup for the second successive edition after succumbing to a 4-3 loss on penalties against DR Congo in the CAF World Cup playoff final at the Maule Hassan Stadium on Sunday night. Nigeria started the game on the front foot and managed to take the lead in the third minute. After making their way to the DR Congo 18-yard arena, Frank Onyeka directed a shot at goal which took a massive deflection off Alex Tangsubi as the helpless keeper watched the ball roll into the back of the net. DR Congo battled to progress the ball upfield as a result of Nigeria's forward pressure and were not really able to manufacture notable scoring opportunities with around 15 minutes on the clock. And Norway qualified for the first World Cup since 1998 after Erling Haaland struck again in a 4-1 thumping of Italy on Sunday, which sealed the spot in the next summer's final in the United States, Canada and Mexico. Haaland scored the decisive brace in the space of seconds at a soaking San Siro for Norway, who completed Group 1 with a perfect 24 points from their 8 qualifying matches. Norway would have had to lose by 9 goals or more in order to be overtaken by Italy for the group's only automatic place for next summer's finals in North America. And finally, Cristiano Ronaldo's dream of a 6th World Cup is hanging by a thread. The Portuguese icon, who has never seen red in his glittering international career, was sensationally sent off during Thursday's shock 2-0 defeat to the Republic of Ireland in Dublin. What began as a yellow card for an elbow on defender Dara O'Shea turned into a nightmare after a tense pitchside review. The referee turned and upgraded the booking to a straight red, an unprecedented moment in the Ronaldo's 226 appearances for Portugal. The timing couldn't have been worse. FIFA's disciplinary court demands at least a 2-match ban for serious foul play and 3 or more for violent conduct, including elbowing. Pre-tournament friendlies won't count, meaning Portugal could start their World Cup campaign without talisman. A verdict may take weeks, leaving fans and teammates in agonizing suspense. This is all in the world of sport, and back to you, Lasuba Memo.
Thank you, Darlington Moses. This is our radio news, and to end this bulletin, here's a recap of the headlines. The Catholic bishops have raised deep concern over the ongoing power struggles within the governments and opposition groups in South Sudan and Sudan, saying these conflicts demonstrate a lack of respect for human dignity and a profoundly harmful pattern of malicious selfishness. The Ministry of Health says it is strengthening preparedness and readiness measures following the confirmation of Marburg virus disease outbreak in neighboring Ethiopia. And civil society leader Edmond Yakani has called on the leadership of the traffic police to clean up its public image, saying misconduct by some officers has damaged the reputation of the institution. That's the end of our radio news. If there's a story or an event you'd like our radio to cover or report about, please send us a text message at +211 925 287870. It's also our WhatsApp number. Follow us on X at our Radio Juba, like our Facebook page, our radio. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at our Radio South Sudan. You can also visit our website and listen to us online at www.ourradio.org. Stay tuned for the news in Arabic at 2:30. I am Lasuba Memo. Thank you for listening.